Tiny Earth has two major goals. The first is to excite young students about science, and the second is to use that enormous undergraduate workforce to discover new antibiotics. And the way to stem the tide is to bring them into research early on so that they have some sense of the excitement of science and the thrill of discovery.
I worked in a research lab as an undergrad, and one night I was working late. I was in a dark room looking at a DNA gel, and I saw something that was unique. And sort of at that moment I realized I was probably the only person in the world that knew this particular piece of information. That sort of leads into why I think Tiny Earth is such a good initiative, is because each of those students has that potential opportunity to know something that nobody else in the world knows.
I had worked on bacteria that produce antibiotics and are resistant to antibiotics for a very long time. And my mother was dying of this infectious disease, and there was nothing I could do about it. And so I think that just further fueled my interest in antibiotic discovery. We know that there are going to be a lot more people besides my mother who will die that same way.
Each of these students is potentially discovering a new potential antibiotic that could help with our current issues in multi-drug resistant bacteria that have sort of spread throughout the world.
As one of my students said to me the first semester I taught the course, he said, you know, I may not be the next Alexander Fleming, but if somebody in Siberia discovers a new antibiotic, I'll be just as excited as if I did it myself. And I thought that was just an incredibly wonderful collective attitude about being part of a community of scientists.
Each of the steps in the process, you're doing something where you have to problem solve, you have to sort of take bits and pieces of data, make decisions. Being able to experience that early in a college career, that makes the students that I've talked to, that's what gets them excited. Catalent's in the business of tail-end discovery of drugs and developing drugs, and this was teaching the exact same skill sets that we need as part of our workforce. And so I thought that it fit very well with what we were looking to do as far as being involved in supporting students in STEM.
Catalent has been our most generous supporter by letting our students come visit. We have Tiny Earth outposts in many of the places where there are Catalent outposts, and so it's been a very productive relationship to make those connections between Catalent scientists who are local to our Tiny Earth groups.
We're starting to arrange some of those partnerships with those institutions so employees at other sites can serve as poster judges. And then eventually the end goal is to support kids getting into STEM, so we have a broader base of employees that we can hire from.
I was absolutely thrilled with their enthusiasm and commitment to Tiny Earth, to training more STEM workers, and to helping us excite students about STEM by coming to the symposium and touring, taking students on tours at Catalent. Thanks to Catalent for the support for Tiny Earth. We are where we are today because of Catalent. They're our strongest supporter.